We are back as promised. So I just realized that you guys probably do not realize what a superstar you have in Jen Audette. Everybody in the company wishes that Jen Audette was their sponsor, or that they were Jen Audette. She is an amazing woman who has accomplished incredible things. I don't know, do they know much about you and your story?
I don't think so, not much, unless they've gone to my website and read it.
So she was an incredibly fabulous mother and still is, and active in so many different extracurricular activities, and worked full-time and made a really nice income. And so one thing you're going to probably find is that the busier people are, the better they are at this business. So I was the same way. I'd written 2 books. I was speaking all over the country. My husband and I had a manufacturing business, and so I felt like I didn't have room for anything else either. But, you know, it's no coincidence that you're here, and you'll find that Scentsy crosses paths for a reason. And so there is, you know, even though I struggled with that for a few weeks, thinking there's no way I could fit another thing into my schedule, when it's right, it's right. And so I'm just saying that when you look at someone, don't ever think they're too busy, because the busiest people are the most successful people, because they know how to manage their time, multitask, get things done. They have energy and ambition. But anyway, so Jen was one of those people, and she has just been a rock star. She presents all the time at big company, you know, trainings and leadership, and she just... I feel like I'm stumbling for words here because I just cannot tell you what an amazing, incredible woman and leader she is. And so when she gives you challenges or gives you tips, or, you know, says, do this, and you're thinking, you know, you want to pull your hair out because you can't figure out how to manage it, if you can follow in her footsteps, then you'll be making videos like this trying to encourage others to live the dream that we're all living, making the money and making the friends and traveling the world like we are.
Right.
So anyways, I just wanted to take a minute and introduce you to Jen.
Well, thank you. That was very nice of you. And I'm no different than anyone else. You know, I was a dental hygienist who cleaned teeth for a living, so it's kind of fun to know that anybody can do this. There's so many stories, and we could go on and on about the different walks of life that people come from and all the different amazing things that they've done. But we'll save that for another video. So let's actually, can we talk a little bit about different ways that you can work your business? Is this an appropriate time for that? So I have really built my business on home parties. I've done a lot of home parties, and I've started to do a few shows here and there also. But I feel like in the beginning, I really did a lot of home parties, so I can help you as much as you want with home parties. But there are other avenues that you can take to build a big, successful business with Scentsy. And Becca has been a little more diverse. She's done a few other things that, you know, maybe like a little bit of stuff on the internet, like YouTube videos, for example, and more bigger shows. I've done some smaller shows. She's done some larger shows. But you've done other things to build your business. So do you mind sharing with us some tips or some ideas of things that you've done that have worked for you?
You know, I'm going to take a little side note here because it ties in really well. I don't know if you've ever heard of the book, The 5 Love Languages, that helps you with your relationships. And it talks about that when a man and woman meet for the first time, they're so excited to get your attention and make you happy that they do things to you that hit all of the different 5 love languages there are. Because, you know, for some people, you need to tell them, I love you, I love you. So one of the love languages is the hearing, the audio. Other people, they don't want you to say anything, they want you to show it to them. So, you know, and how do they want you to show them? Well, one of the love languages is just by time, spending time. Another one is service, you know, taking the trash out. Another one's no, if you want to show me, you're going to bring me presents and flowers. So, and then other people just want to be touched. So there's 5 different love languages. So usually when you meet that person that you fall in love with, they're so perfect because they just are doing everything, because in that primal desire to serve you, they do it all. Then you get married and they kind of get complacent, and they settle into the only love language that matters to them. And maybe that is to take the trash out. And all of a sudden, after a while, you're thinking, well, he doesn't bring me flowers anymore, and he doesn't tell me anymore, and he doesn't spend time with me. You know, the only thing he does is take the trash out. And then you go and you say, you don't love me like you used to. Something's wrong here. And they say, oh, I do love you. I do love you. Well, how am I supposed to know that? I take the trash out, you know? And you're like, well, no, I want flowers and I want this. So kind of, you're like, how does this tie into building a Scentsy business? Well, for those who are really big go-getters, then what you want to do is all the languages, you know, of building a business. And that means getting exposure as many ways as you possibly can to build that really strong foundation. And then in doing that, you're going to build a business fast, and then you're also going to find out what you're most comfortable with, and then you're going to be a good trainer for those who come along and help them find their love language for building a business. So as we talked about, so when I first started Scentsy, I thought, I'm going to give this 30 days. I'm a busy woman. I want to make a lot of money, and I have very little time to do it. So if this Scentsy is really where it's at, I'm going to be serious about it. And if it shows some results in 30 days, well then, you know, I'll think about sticking around for a little while longer. So I set a goal for myself that I would plug in my warmer and get, you know, scent under people's noses 3 to 5 times a day. Now, I didn't have little kids, so maybe 5 is a little ambitious for some. Maybe, you know, you're going to just do 1. So my first 30 days, that was important for me to do that. So I knocked on doors, contacted everybody I knew or only had met once. So that was one way for me to start getting in front of people. And I had to say that it's really interesting because some of the people that I thought needed to earn money really bad and couldn't afford to buy, when I went to their house and said, hey, can I share this with you? Where's a plug-in? The very first thing I do really when I walked in the door was plug that in, and I'd have 3 or 4 different cubes from different scents. I'd say pick one. They'd pick one, we'd put it in, and then we'd sit and visit. And within 5 minutes, you know, the smell would be permeating the room, and then they'd go, so that smells so good. What is that? And then we could start talking Scentsy. And then I was so excited. And even though I wasn't the first consultant by any means, I'd say, hey, haven't you ever wished you could be one of the first people in a business? Can you think of, like for us, it would be, we were excited because Mary Kay and Tupperware, and can you imagine what it would have been like to be one of the first Avon consultants or whatever? Well, now we have that chance to do that, and I am so excited because this is a product that, you know, anybody can sell. Look, you love it. You're already asking me how you can get it. So I had that enthusiasm about the opportunity. And then I'd say, okay, so yeah, that was only 1 cent. We have 80 cents. So you can buy it. You can earn it for free, or you can sell it like me. I don't know which one excites you the most. And I can't tell you how many people that I thought would want to sell it because they were always complaining about not having money said, oh, let me write you a check, or let's do a party and I'll get it for free. And then how many people said to me, oh, I want to sell it like you. I think they just caught my enthusiasm. Right. Okay, so while this was going on with a goal, I also booked a couple events so that I could get in front of large amounts of people. So for my first, I'd say 6 months, I was plugging in the warmers. And anytime I traveled, I took warmers and plugged them in at the hotels I was staying at. And I went to businesses and said, hey, hi, you know, I am a Scentsy consultant and I wanted to brighten your day. Where's your plug-in? And I'd plug it in and leave them some samples and let them try it out for a couple of days. And when I came back, I would say, are you ready for me to take my warmer? And they'd say, no, we love it. The boss wants one for here. And so then I'd say, well, okay, you know, and here's something to get in habit with. Well, you know, you can buy it, but I never let my best customers pay for it. I like to help them get it for free. So you can earn it, and then we talk about, which we will do later, you know, catalog book parties, basket parties, or live parties, so they can earn it and get free and half price stuff. Or I'd say, and our company's expanding, you know, so you could sell it like me, which interests you the most, and so I'd let them choose. So for 6 months, that's what I did. Home parties, door to door basically, and businesses, and then events. And let me tell you, it could be a $25 event that you do, or it can be one that you pay hundreds of dollars to do. And before you do that, talk to Jen. Really talk to her because she knows the show route, and let her help you so you make good decisions. But it's all a numbers game. The more noses you get smelling the product, smelling it. This is the key. Plugging it in, getting testers underneath their nose, smelling it. You don't want to spend a whole lot of time talking. You want to do a whole lot of time getting them smelling it. You'll be able to grow it. So, okay, after that, after about 6 or 7 months in it, I decided I wanted to branch even further out. Now, I lived in a town of 150 people, and where I shopped, we had to drive, it was only 15 minutes away, but it was only a town of 6,000. So I had to drive 2 to 3 hours to even get to, a population of 10, 20, or 30,000. So that's why I was so also creative. So then I started doing internet ads as well, and that's how I met Jen. So as you can tell, it's a numbers game, and it's an enthusiasm game, and it's knowing the possibilities game.
Right, that's awesome. Great advice. So maybe we should cut this one off now, okay? Because we're at 10 minutes. We're trying to keep these short so that we don't totally lose you, and you can watch these in smaller intervals. So thank you for listening to us again, and we'll see you on the next one.
All right.